Understanding the biblical Greek gives us the opportunity to appreciate the precise reference in the apostolic scriptures in the New Testament, and in doing so unlocks a deeper and more accurate application of the text in our lives. Today, we focus on Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 11. I will open it up on the screen. I will open both the Greek text and different English versions. Just follow my cursor. Now, this is Hebrews 11:11 in the Greek here, okay? And our attention is on 4 words. These words are highlighted. The first word is highlighted purple, okay? That is the word for Sarah. The next word is καταβολήν, is highlighted green. That is the word that the King James renders to conceive. And the next word is highlighted elaben, highlighted yellow, elaben. That is the word for received. And then the fourth word is hegesato, okay, hegesato. And that is highlighted, that's the Greek word for she judged, okay, in the King James. And so, but while the focus is on these 4 words, our major focus is going to be on one, okay, that will affect the others, and that is highlighted green, this καταβολήν. When you look at the English, the Greek English lexicon, and I use the BDAG Greek lexicon. When you look at the word καταβολήν, lexicon is a dictionary. When you look at the word καταβολήν, it has 2 primary meanings, okay? It has 2 primary meanings. One, that is the act of laying something down with the implication of providing a base for something, and that is foundation, okay? So the first really meaning deals with foundation. And then the second meaning of that word καταβολήν is, when you check the BDAG, it is the word for the sowing of seed, okay? Sowing of seed, sowing of seed. So where this word is used with respect to seed, it means sowing of seed. But now let us appreciate how this word is used in the various English, how the verse is translated, okay? The King James says, through faith, also Sarah herself received the strength to conceive seed, okay, and was delivered of a child when she was past age, because she judged him faithful who had promised. So that is the King James. When you look at the English Standard Version, it says, by faith, Sarah herself received the power to conceive, even when she was past the age, since she considered him faithful who had promised. Okay. When you look at the New King James, by faith, Sarah herself also received the strength to conceive seed, and she bore a child when she was past the age, because she judged him faithful who had promised. When you look at the Christian Standard Bible, just a few versions, by faith, even Sarah herself, when she was unable to have children, received the power to conceive offspring, even though she was past the age, since she judged, she considered that the one who had promised was faithful. Okay. When you read for example, the New American Standard Bible, by faith, even Sarah herself received the ability to conceive, even beyond the proper time of life, since she considered him faithful who had promised. Okay, so when you look at all these versions that we have read, okay, in translating this verse, they follow a similar translation approach. It does not mean that they do that for all the verses, but in this particular verse, they follow a similar translation approach. But I want to open 3 other resources. Let us read the New Revised Standard Version, okay, at Hebrews 11:11, and let us see the difference. The New Revised Standard Version says, by faith, he received, not she, he, speaking of Abraham, he received the power of procreation, even though he was too old and Sarah herself was barren, because he considered, okay, he considered, not she considered, he considered him faithful who had promised. Okay, that is the New Revised Standard Version. So while all the other versions are speaking faith as in the faith of Sarah, the New Revised Standard Version speaks of the faith of Abraham. Okay, When you also read the NET Bible at Hebrews 11:11, the NET Bible also agrees with the New Revised Standard Version in translating this particular verse. Again, it does not mean that the New Revised Standard Version and the NET Bible always agree, but in translating this particular verse, they do. So the NET Bible says, by faith, even though Sarah herself was barren and he was too old, he received the ability to procreate. He received the ability to procreate because he regarded the one who had given the promise to be trustworthy. And so these two English translations, the translation, okay, the focus is Abraham. It's the faith of Abraham. The other translations, it is the faith of Sarah, okay? When you also read the Bill Mouse Greek English lexicon, this is an online free resource, and you look up the word καταβολὴν, which is particularly used here, and you see how it is rendered in Hebrews 11:11, okay? You'll see this also agrees with the New Revised Standard Version and the NET Bible. It says, by faith, Abraham was enabled to become a father, okay, even though Sarah herself was sterile and beyond the normal age of childbearing, because he regarded as faithful the one who had made the promise, okay? And so the question of our reflection today in looking at this particular verse, Hebrews 11:11, is what exactly is happening, okay? It brings us to a central interpretive question, okay? What's happening? Was the author referring to Abraham, or was the author referring to Sarah, okay? So here's what we observe. Several traditional translation present Sarah as the referent. But modern translation, modern scholarship actually is increasingly identifying Abraham as the subject of this particular verse. Now, indeed, in the Greek text, there is no name Abraham, okay? The name Sarah is there. But it's not just about the appearance of a name or the absence of the name. The issue is who is the referent, okay? Because even, for example, when you look at the NET Bible, Sarah is indeed there, okay? Sarah is indeed there. But is the faith that of Sarah, or is the barrenness and the age the issue of Sarah, okay? And so the traditional interpretation, which takes the referent to be Sarah, okay, that relies on a figurative application of the first meaning of καταβολὴν, okay? It is possible literally, okay, but it is not the literal sense of the Greek construction. And so by contrast, the more recent interpretive, okay, in the full knowledge of the biblical Greek takes the second meaning, okay, the καταβολὴν, the literal meaning, which naturally and grammatically applies only to Abraham in terms of no procreation. It is Abraham that sows the seed into Sarah. And so the act of Sarah conceiving seed, that is not the καταβολὴν. Καταβολὴν is actually with respect to sowing seed, and Sarah does not sow seed, okay? Sarah receives seed. So that's why the traditional rendering where Sarah is receiving the seed is really more of a figurative one, okay? It is literally a possible option, but not the literal sense of the Greek construction, okay? And this is actually reinforced by the fact that the entire pericope is literally centered on Abraham and not Sarah. May the Lord bless you as you continue growing in knowing the word and in knowing the Lord himself. Amen. Shalom.